Graduated from the University of Rochester School of Medicine in 1980. I became an orthopedic spinal surgeon, did 10 years as a military surgeon, and then I served on a congressional committee that looked at technology for the military, for the Navy specifically. And as that, I researched bioweapons and all sorts of stuff and masks. And I'm going to tell you, in my entire professional career, I have never heard anybody actually believe that any kind of masks, short of an actual level 4 containment suit, made a difference to small particle viruses. In fact, the CDC itself just published an article in May exactly saying that. You cannot contain influenza with these masks, and that's even larger than this virus. Now, I reviewed all this science. I gave a talk out in Nevada last month, and it's online, YouTube, Medical Technocracy in my name, and you can look at all the sciencey stuff. My conclusion, looking at all redoing my investigation of this time, is that people that are now purporting to scientifically prove masks work are either being paid or being played. This just doesn't work this way. And, the outcome of this is not going to be good. The previous speaker said some of the things I wanted to say about children. Children actually, we have bad things happening here because children learn by looking at facial expressions. They socialize. We are creating a generation of people that will be afraid of normal existence, and that's not a good thing. The second thing is, I don't know if you know how badly you're damaging the economy. You guys haven't missed a paycheck, but as a small business owner, we've missed a lot of paychecks, and it's not getting better, particularly because I live outside the ring of Omaha. And when you live outside there, you don't have to wear a mask. We're not social distancing. We're all hanging out with each other, and nobody's getting sick any more than they did last season. The actual survival rate this season is 99.991%. It's actually gone up to probably 99.997 with the new CDC revelations. And last year's flu season was 99.992%. And for that, we're making our children afraid, and that's not a good outcome. So I think this is time to end this, and I just want to say that I've taken 2 oaths in my life, one to the Constitution as a naval officer, and one to the oath of Hippocrates when it says I shouldn't do mischief to my patients, and mischief includes lying to them. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm not wearing a mask, and I guess I won't be shopping around if that's necessary. But I think it's time that you guys could turn this around. You're either going to ride the city down or you're going to turn this around, and you can do it right now. I'm just reminded of Boris Yeltsin's, this lie is going to fall apart here pretty darn soon. The truth is coming out. And Boris Yeltsin once said, you can sit on a throne of bayonets, but you can't sit on it for long.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Next opponent, please.
My name is Dr. Tapper, 16909 Burke Street, Omaha, Nebraska. Again, my name is Dr. Tapper, and I am no stranger to you, as this is my 3rd time here addressing the regulations and mask mandates. Imagine a virus so deadly and severe that you have to have a test done to find out whether or not you've had it. You guys are basing these numbers on positive cases and not hospitalizations or deaths. That's what you should be basing those off of. The numbers are hyperinflated by false positives and the never-ending doom and gloom from the mainstream media. I was taught that fear is the fire that fuels the furnace of disease. And when will this fear-mongering stop? It is terrifying to me to think how easily this mask mandate could turn into a vaccine one. You see, I follow the vaccine narrative very closely, and I have been for the last decade. I have witnessed firsthand the damages that can occur after a vaccination, conditions like transverse myelitis or Guillain-Barré. I have met many families that have lost a child to vaccine injury. Injuries are real and not rare. The companies that lie and gaslight these poor families are the same companies and organizations that feed you and the public this corona propaganda. Last year, the World Health Organization stated that the greatest threat to our health is people who refuse vaccinations. Shortly after that, the ACIP for the CDC stated that they cannot force vaccinations, but they can force compliance. How are they going to do that? I don't wear a mask anywhere I go, and the public shaming that occurs is beyond humiliating. I have been refused business, and on some occasions I couldn't enter the store. If the mask mandate turns into a vaccine mandate, you will not be allowed to go back to work, earn a paycheck, renew your driver's license, or function in everyday society without proof of the vaccination. We had draconian bills sweeping the nation last year coming after our medical freedoms, and then the coronavirus came. the Trojan horse to implement this tyrannical agenda. I believe this to be spiritual and psychological warfare on the people. The rate of suicide is the highest it ever has been in human history. More people have died this year of suicide than from corona. The National Alliance on Mental Illness Helpline has seen a 65% increase in calls and emails since March. In other words, the vast majority of health, emotional, physical, psychological, and financial hardships now faced by citizens are not due to COVID-19. They are due to ongoing catastrophic lockdowns, restrictions, and policies imposed by unaccountable, irrational governments. Since when is it your job to pass legislation on health? History teaches us that when the government takes away a certain freedom or liberty, they do not freely give it back. Martin Luther King Jr. once stated that oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself. We are 6 months into this circus that was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I pray to the good Lord above that the people wake up and realize that we're not dealing with a temporary inconvenience here, but we are headed into a full-on medical dictatorship.
Thank you.